invite the General Prosecutor of Ukraine, Viktor Shokin, who will tell us about the activity of the General Prosecutor's Office, about the challenges down there. Please check the socket. We need light here. He will be talking about the challenges that the Prosecutor General's office is facing and about their plans for the future. Good afternoon. Can you hear? Yes. Yeah. It's not like the moderator said. I will tell you about what's happening, what has been happening during the week of me being in the office. If I start talking about the whole Prosecutor General's office, it will take too much time. What have I done when I became the General Prosecutor General? As you remember, I gave promise, and my priorities in work were the cases of Maidan, the criminal cases, and of senior civil servants combating corruption. First thing I did, I reorganized the main investigation department. I have replaced the Deputy Prosecutor General who was responsible for all these cases. Also, the first deputy of the main investigation department, Laganyak, was dismissed, who was personally responsible for all these cases. Then I redistributed the duties between the deputy prosecutor generals. You maybe know the names. Orlov, Volodymyr Orlov. He was also dismissed by me. Also, I dismissed the prosecutor of Donetsk region, Frantovsky. Besides that, I created the subunit in the Prosecutor General's office, which it's not me, sorry, which will be responsible for relations with the members of parliament, and they will be located in the premises of the parliament. The Deputy Minister Kasko, the Deputy Prosecutor General was appointed, Mr. Kasko, and he will be also receiving the MPs there every day. And this will be very good cooperation with the members of parliament. Besides that, we now filed to the court the criminal case, case against the former head of the Kiev city administration, Popov. You've probably heard that on the 14th of February we detained Yefremov, who was the head of the faction of the Party of Regions in Verkhovna Rada. We organized a special operation. It was very interesting. If you are interested in that, I will tell you separately in some other time about that. And finally, I today appointed two Deputy Prosecutor Generals of Ukraine. Gluzai Volodymyr, who will be responsible for the investigation conducted by the security service, militia, and also I would like to introduce David Sakvailidze, who will be responsible for personnel policy and all the issues related to European integration and reforming all the Prosecutor General offices, bodies. Thank you, Ukrainian News. Good afternoon, Ukrainian News. Could you please tell in detail about this special operation on detention of Yefremov? How was it in Kiev? Where some details at least. And has been the detention measure already selected? What do you insist on? The court can identify the pledge but could he be arrested without the pledge? Because to let him out after the special operation on detention, he will leave and he will disappear most probably. According to the law, the court has to give the right for pledge. That's the right of his. We will insist on arrest. That happened in Kiev. According to our actions, the security service found out where they were, and he was detained. Today, the prevention measure has been selected for him. And the court was appointed at 10, but the judge was engaged in a different process, and the court sitting is proceed.
For a week, as you mentioned, but before that, you were the deputy prosecutor during the much criticized investigation of the killings on the Maidan around February 20th, including the mysterious snipers, as well as the tragedy on Odessa on May 2nd. Why has nobody been brought to justice for these deaths? A BBC investigation revealed evidence that on February 20th, armed protesters may have fired first on the police, provoking their deadly response. What is your assessment of what occurred and who fired first? And a final question, sir. The public seems to have very little faith that those responsible will be brought to justice and question whether Ukraine's corrupted justice system can become independent under the new government. What do you say to them? Thank you.
Переведу.
Будь ласка.
I will translate. There were three questions. The first, you were appointed the Prosecutor General, and before that you were Deputy Prosecutor General, who was criticized for non-efficient investigation of the crimes in Maidan and the tragedy in Odessa. Why was no one made responsible? I was not responsible for these cases. I was responsible for the investigation in the Ministry of Interior and Security Service. I had nothing to do with these cases related to Maidan and senior civil servants. Okay, the second question. The investigation of BBC found the evidence that the protesters were the first ones who were shooting at police, and they provoked the response from the police. What has the investigation made by the Prosecutor General Office says? As far as I know, there were no cases like that fixed, and the investigation doesn't have any information on that. And the last question. Now, the public does not really believe that there will be results of investigation, and those who are really who committed crimes, they will be made responsible. I'm sure, and I told that in the parliament that this will be the case. Definitely, all those who are guilty, they will be made responsible. No doubt in that. Any other questions? Another question. Ukrainian news. Rinat Kuzmin has addressed the European Court on Human Rights. Are there any cases open against him? And also, we would like to learn what's happening with the case of murder of Semenyuk Samsonenko, and will you conduct investigation on Gangadze case? Because every new Prosecutor General, it's like a tradition, starts investigating on Gangadze case. First of all, Gangadze case. If you don't know, I will tell you. This case wasn't started by myself, but when I came in 2002 to the position of the Deputy Prosecutor General, it was on the 12th of July, and on the 15th of July, we set up the new investigatory group. Pukac was arrested within 3 months after that, but then, unfortunately, our team was sent to retirement, was dismissed, and when we came back, we found 3 executors, and this case was sent to the court, and I have been always saying that the team that was investigating that could not, because of many reasons, do it. I'm sure that the new team, which will be created now, will find or will name not just the executors, but those who ordered this murder. Talking about Samsonenko, I know that there was a suicide there, and the question from Ukrainska Pravda. As to Renat Kuzmin, yeah, there is. Unfortunately, we do not hear the questions from Ukrainian Pravda. The question is from Ukrainian.
Ukrainska Pravda newspaper. Could you please specify about Yefremov? What will be the alleged crime committed by Yefremov against which he will be charged? Also, about friends of Yefremov. For example, about Akhmetov, we know that Akhmetov was called up to the prosecutor's office where he was interrogated, and there were rumors that there was an offer or bribe to Aidar battalion servicemen to surrender some piece of territory to the process. As for Yefremov, Yefremov was detained under tough conditions, with tough conditions, and the accusation will be established later. Roman Savchuk, representative of the Heavenly 100 Families Union. One of the expectations put upon you from the society is that you will find guilty in the murders of Maidan and during all the events of revolution of dignity. What steps do you plan to make in this direction, and whether you plan to establish communication with the families of Heavenly 100 heroes? And as far as I know, there was communication between prosecutor's office and families in the past. Whether you plan to maintain and develop this communication, because there is much of information with which they can provide you. Sure, we will maintain very close cooperation. As for the steps about which you asked, I have dismissed Deputy Prosecutor General who was responsible for investigation of this case. Mr. Laganyak was appointed, and he will finalize those cases. Please give him some time, because it is impossible to finalize everything within 5 days. I think in nearest future I will be able to develop more.
Пожалуйста, Евросоюз планирует.
The European Union plans to exclude several public officials from their list of persons for sanctions, and what will happen with your submissions upon those people to Interpol? Yes, you're right. I heard that from March, some names will be deleted from the list of Interpol and the list of sanctions. But I have appointed two deputy prosecutors general, Kasko and Sakhalidze, who will deal specifically with this issue. Now, coming back to Maidan topics, maybe besides Mr. Popov, Popov, you will mention some other names of those people who will be brought to responsibility for their committed actions during Maidan events. We know some other names, but when I mention them, we may expect that they will disappear. I believe that in the nearest future, we will finalize several cases which we have opened by now. Kyiv Post newspaper. I have two questions. I'm Oleg Sukhov. My first question is, when you plan to file to court and pass to court the cases against Yanukovych and his close team? And my second question is about Antonov company and whether you have Mr. Kiva as a suspect in this case. There is now criminal proceedings in Yanukovych's case. As for the Antonov plant case, Kiva is not a figure in this case yet, but this opportunity is not a suspect in the case, but there is such a possibility. As far as I know, Mr. Sukhalidze is one of those candidates who submitted the documents to become the head of National Anti-Corruption Bureau. Whether you will somehow interfere. As for Kernes, I heard about criminal proceedings against Kernes. What is the progress in this case? As for Sukhalidze, he is appointed from today Deputy Prosecutor General of Ukraine. And he has received a specific certificate on this issue. As for Kernes, the case on Kernes will be finalized at any cost.
Day newspaper. So now there's a statement on Pukac case, and we know that there are some problems. Will there be investigation of the activities of the judge of Pechersk court, Melnik? Will you dismiss the representatives of prosecutor's office, and what could we expect in this case, and who now in the Prosecutor General's office is responsible for Gangadze case? Myself personally will be responsible for this case because I started it. I know that. As to the employees, if they have wrong position, they will be replaced. I mean those who are in the court. As to Melnik, also the procedural resolution will be made. Channel 5. Could you please tell, there was information previously that the Prosecutor General's office is also checking Korolevskaya, whether she's involved in financing the proxies. What is the status of that? And as to the cases filed in relation to the high treason, so Bondarenko, who's talking on Russian TV, will they be investigated against all the possible signs of separatism committed by anyone, even if MPs were involved into that? Together we do that together with the Security Service and the Ministry of the Interior. If we see the signs of crime, the procedural decisions will be made, and that is true concerning all the MPs, current MPs and the MPs in the past. Who is the next one? I will not tell you. You will see, and soon. 24 channel. Are you investigating on the case against organizing the so-called Titushkas in Maidan, those who were suspected were Ivanющенko and Чеботарёва, but based on the latest speeches of Avakov, the name of Чеботарёва disappeared. To name, I believe it's not proper to name anyone, because this will be hampering the investigation. The names that you have mentioned, we investigate on that, but I will not be enumerating all these names. There are many names there, and all the cases, especially those related to Maidan, to Titushki. On the 13th of February, I got together all the prosecutors of all the regions, and I gave him instructions within a week to check all their subordinates, whether they could have possibly be involved into anything related to the revolution of dignity, because now I gave also the instructions to check all the leaders of oblast, I mean the governors, who were the governors under the previous regime, whether they were involved into such activities. Thank you. Interfax Ukraine. One more question. I would like to clarify about Yefremov. Is there suspicion in separatism? Can you clarify? You said that you are now looking at all the MPs, and also the General Prosecutor's Office has the status of investigation on some open contracts with the Crimea, talking about Crimea. Yeah, there's a criminal case which is being interrogated. Talking about Yefremov, we announced the suspicion in abusing of his civil services position. Yeah, we are checking all other possible. Yeah, we are checking it all during the investigation. Thank you. Goodbye. Please come. I will be happy to see you anytime. Please call, just like you were calling. You were saying that you are not allowed to be present, but you're now here. Cannot hear. Pechersky Court. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you, Viktor. Our next briefing of the Minister of Finance of Ukraine will take place at 3 p.m.